Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Zoom panel on the Summit for Socialist Democracy. This event is jointly organized by Friends of Socialist China and the International Manifesto Group and is co-sponsored by the Morning Star, the International Action Center, Nodudol, and the Chiao Collective. My name is Radhika Desai, and I'm the convener of the International Manifesto Group. As you know, this is our answer to the recently concluded Summit of the Democracies organized by President Biden. Just how hollow President Biden's big idea of organizing an alliance of democracies is should hit us when I make the following land acknowledgement, which has now become usual in Canada. I speak from Winnipeg. Winnipeg stands on Treaty 1 territory. Treaty 1 is the first of 11 numbered territories, and it was made in 1871 between the Crown and the Indigenous peoples of this part of Canada. Winnipeg, therefore, stands on the stolen lands of the Anishinaabe, the Cree, the Oji-Cree, the Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. Despite centuries of harm, ongoing dispossession, deprivation, our governments continue to fight these nations when they pursue their rights in their courts, spending millions on fighting them rather than actually giving them their rights. This underlines the fact that the wealth of the core countries that President Biden calls democracies is built on imperialism and settler colonialism. While so many countries they are pleased to call autocracies have done far more to defend the rights of indigenous peoples and minorities. So essentially what President Biden is doing is weaponizing a ramshackle democracy, and the result can only be an extremely dangerous but ineffective weapon. The fact of the matter is Western democracies are clearly failing. Even President Biden had to draw attention to that. Considering that even the shoddiest of goods look bright and shiny when they are first produced and launched, President Biden's big idea of an alliance of democracies is already looking worn and tired on the day of its launch. Even the normally congratulatory Western media has been calling it ill-conceived, misjudged, divisive, and they are wondering whether US democracy can take the weight President Biden is putting on it, whether it might backfire, whether it will provoke a counteroffensive, and above all, whether by referring to the global recession of democracy, President Biden is only worsening the situation. The simple fact is that Western democracies are in decline for one root reason. For the last 40 years and more, their neoliberal governments have been devoted to keeping in power an ever-narrowing elite of financiers and the owners of a few big corporations. No wonder the role of corruption, fraud, electoral manipulation by money, the media, and the social media are rife in Western democracies. And today, a wave of populism represents the spreading distrust of the established powers in Western democracies. However, even when first world democracies were supposedly at their peak, things were far from perfect. After all, Che Guevara said, we should not allow the word democracy to be utilized to represent the dictatorship of the exploiting classes. More systematically, Canadian Marxist philosopher Crawford McPherson exposed the same reality, the reality of class rule under the guise of democracy. All countries, he insisted, back in the 1970s, including communist countries and third world democracies, had rightful claim to be called democracies. And he pointed out that Western liberal capitalist democracies were only one sort of democracy. They were originally only liberal representative polities. They were not democracies. They were made into democracies only by the unrelenting struggles of working peoples, women, minorities of all sorts, and so on. So as a result of these struggles, eventually, reluctantly, kicking and screaming, these liberal orders became liberal democratic orders. But, and this is part of the genius of McPherson, he pointed out that just as these liberal orders became democratic, they also did something else. They made democracies liberal. That is to say, they ringed democracy around with all sorts of constitutional and other limitations, preventing popular power of the people from infringing the rights and privileges of small elites to their property, to their power and their privilege. Even in the heyday of post-war Western liberal democracies, the CIA and its offshoots had to be mobilized to keep these societies capitalist. The irony is that the West has started weaponizing democracy as a weapon of its imperialism just when neoliberalism has been steadily undermining it for 4 decades. Today it stands at a nadir. President Biden's attempt to renew its weaponization can only fail. Even the Financial Times has told us that in fact, and Financial Times is no enemy of President Biden. It has identified 3 flaws of Biden's strategy: that it is vulnerable to allegations of American hypocrisy, because it still supports strongmen, authoritarian and really dictatorial regimes all around the world, that it could be self-defeating, in the sense that rather than leading by example, the Americans are pleading the case for a democracy they themselves do not have. And thirdly, that it could push the autocracies closer together. However, being what it is, the voice of the bourgeoisie of the West, it could not and did not identify a 4th danger, which is the far more real one, and which for people like us is the hope, which is that this will provoke China and other countries into a serious critique of capitalist liberal democracy and propose credible options, conceptions, institutions, and practices of democracy of their own. China is already doing this with a white paper on its whole process democracy and its ongoing attempts to realize its own ideals of socialist democracy. The letters of Ambassador Anatoly Antonov and Qin Gang, respectively of Russia and China in Washington, have already struck very close to home. So, how is this contest being conducted? How is it faring? This is what our guests are here to tell us.